What's good, everybody? Jack and Lockie here, back again with episode 20 of The Return. That was a very quick introduction.
Oh,
Today we are covering something a bit different, but we've kind of been doing the season. We did the season previews, and now we're kind of like pre-season started. We're leading up to the start of the season, which is on October 20 our time. I think it's October 19 in the US. Today we are covering this is our opinions. If you have anything wrong with it, then go somewhere else. We're doing our top 10 coming into the season. So not the top 10 at the end of the season, it's the top 10 coming in. At the end of the season, we will do the top 10 of the season. Very excited for this list. I think it's I think there's a lot of stuff that could be changed, but this is my list for now. I've taken into account injuries of players, performances, first round exits, hence why Lebron is not at the top. So I'm excited to start. Lockie, let's go. We'll just go one for one.
yeah. At my 10, I originally had AD, but I'm basing off last year's performance and coming into this year. I think Lillard's at the 10th spot. What else? What can really say about him? But like the fact that he's able to lead not a great team and push him at least to like the second round, for the past like 10 years, dude's incredible and he deserves a better team. And he often doesn't get that recognition of being in like the top 10 players or like being one of those premier players, but he really is the most like clutch player in the league. So
he can drop 50. He can drop 50 a night.
Yeah.
With ease.
And like ridiculous how he carries a team. Him and Curry are on that same level, how they carry their team in like the clutch, like when it really comes down to it.
Sure.
Lillard's incredible. I hope his prime does not get wasted in Portland. They need to move him or build around him, but it's kind of a bit late for that. Lillard's at my 10 spot.
Okay. Yeah, I got Dame a bit higher than that. This is my not bold. Actually, it's quite bold. People who watch this are probably not going to like this. I got the Kawhi Leonard at number 10. I think coming off of an end of season injury ridden, a big injury too, that was often overlooked and still not having an amazing year like he often does. I think it was a bit of a down year. Obviously, the load management kind of plays into that too. And obviously not being there. If he was there in the playoffs, I always say if he was there in the playoffs, they would have beat Phoenix, and they could have potentially won the whole thing. So I think Kawhi being injured definitely affected his top 10 rating. I would usually, if he was healthy and playing like he usually does, I'd probably say like five or six. But obviously the injuries affect that. And yeah, I think obviously coming back this year, end of the season, he'll be in my top 5. Like I just think he's going to have that big of a year. Obviously dependent on injury status. But for now, he's my number 10. Some people might not like that. I was hesitant to put him at 10. I was trying to find a spot where he would fit and I wouldn't be too mad about who was behind him. But it was kind of hard. So I've gone Kawhi at 10.
Yeah, people might not definitely won't agree with that. But no, you definitely need to factor that in. I had actually, I'll mention him later, but I had him higher, but I had to move him back because he was injured. Yeah. And obviously that affects how you're going to come into this season. And the Stars don't really play preseason. So it's like, whether they can really come back. At my 9th spot, I got Joel Embiid. Bit biased, kind of biased. But I just think he's the one thing that is like right with the Sixers. A big man who can really do it all. I've had my doubts about him over the years, but being like a 27, 28 point scorer at the center spot, grabbing like 12 rebounds, good rim protector, could hit the 3, really good like face-up game, hit the mid-range. He's like a real classic big man. And there's not, I guess, many of them in our league anymore. I got him at the 9th spot, but I think because I got certain honorable mentions below him, and it's like depending on how their teams go, it could take over Embiid. But depending on how Sixers go this year, I could definitely see Embiid moving up a couple of spots.
Yeah, for sure.
It does, like, the best player in these top 10 lists, I think, kind of depends also on how well the team goes. Obviously, that's like
Definitely.
it's kind of like MVP. But yeah, I got Embiid at my 9th spot.
Right. Yeah, I've gone Embiid as well. I think I wanted to have him higher, but honestly, like, it's the same with Kawhi. I didn't really want to. I couldn't find anyone that I think he would go above coming into the season. Obviously, Sixers have a lot of drama going on right now.
Mm.
And like you said, he's kind of the only bright spot on that team. And I think he's going to have a tremendous year. And I think with the absence of Ben Simmons, probably, I think he'll be leading the team in all stats. Maybe not assists, but I think he's the complete package. He's the second coming of Hakeem Olajuwon, with the 3 as well. Well, inconsistent 3, but still.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to be a top 3 player by the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I know.
That's a big call.
That's a big.
With Ben gone, definitely. That's so.
Yes.
That could definitely happen.
For sure.
For
But,
sure.
but yeah,
okay.
that's my 9. My 8.
Right.
Is coming soon.
I've actually made a quick
You're
change.
changing it up. Yeah.
No, I've made a quick change based on. So the player I mentioned earlier was James Harden, and him being injured in the playoffs. Now, it wasn't like a big injury. It was like a hamstring. It wasn't like, career ending. But I do factor that coming into this season. And also, I'm not I mean, with the Nets, with Kyrie out, that probably opens more, I guess, minutes for Harden than for him to do his thing. But I have him at my 8th spot. He's still like a premier player in the league. I'm just thinking, with a bunch of like 2 stars next to him, like, while he is like, I think, the guy that wins them the big games in the end, like, he's like the point guard, he's like the center of it, I think.
Yeah.
I still don't put him like above the other players I have, just based on like ability to lead a team. I feel like
for sure.
all the players I have above are, I guess, better in that ability. But yeah, he's still one of the best scorers we've ever seen. The fact that we're able to see like someone like him and KD in like the same era, and even Kyrie, like, the fact that we're able to see 3 of those like guys on the same team, 3, top 50 scorers of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just ridiculous, and they all do something like really different, but like really incredible. But yeah, and also like I guess the defense kind of factors into there. He's not a horrible defender, and I guess when he wants to, he can be really good. But he's not, known as like a great defender, and I think that factors in there.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Back to pack, we're the exact same.
Oh, really?
I have gone Jimmy Harden. I think it's the same kind of thing, same dynamic. Yet to lead a team. I know. Okay, maybe not. I mean, he led Houston to a conference final, but that was also 3 or 4 years ago, and they lost to Golden State in a Game 7. So,
and Chris Paul was there, so
Chris Paul was there. And I think injury-ridden season for him. The hamstring obviously wasn't holding up. And even when he, in his first few games for Brooklyn, it was looking scary. He was looking like he was just leading that team. And then he just kept getting injured. Obviously, Kyrie was out, so that affected the team's success. Don't get me wrong; like, he's probably top 3 scorer in the league. But again, I think injuries hurt that case for him to be higher up. And I do think that Brooklyn not going further was because he wasn't playing. But I also think that's hurt his spot. So that's me with Jimmy.
With I do also want to say with with Harden is that like he's like being such a good scorer in this league. It definitely has come at the effect of kind of that rule, or like that rule that's been changed where you can kind of throw yourself into players.
Yeah.
And the NBA is starting to become they want to become a more quick game. So like less fouls. So I think that goes against Harden's, how he plays. And he's more of a one-on-one, more of a half-court player. Obviously, it's not going to completely take him out of the league, like by no means, but it's just going to, I feel like the transition into a quicker game might be a bit difficult. But he'll still be a top 10 player for the next, like, I don't know, I guess like 2 to 3 years, you know, because he's still one of the probably the most like skilled guard of like the past 10 years. Like him and Curry are definitely up there, probably the most skilled guards we've seen recently. But yeah, so at my 7th spot, I've got Kawhi. So 3 spots ahead of you. I do factor the big injury, but just the fact that his Clippers team pushed into like they nearly bloody made the finals. I think is like pretty incredible. Wait, were they in the conference finals?
Sorry, I'm trying to see who.
Yeah, actually, no, they weren't. No, hold up.
What conference final? Yeah, they made the conference final.
They made yeah, they did. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Clippers fans because they always get shut on. Everyone's smoking on that Clippers pack. But yeah, I still think Kawhi. I think he can come back from an injury like this. He gets load management all the time, so he's not, I guess, in a position where his body's still kind of trying to catch up, I think. And yeah, that probably takes him away from me putting him in my top 5. But I still think he's like, yeah, a two-way like superstar. He's going to have like a huge year based on the team that he has around him. But yeah, I got him at my 7th spot. I'm not really sure where he goes from here. Like he could even go down based off how the Clippers go this year, and whether because he has his moments where he just won't show up, or he won't, be the man that we know, be the player that we know he can be. So yeah, he has his moments, but he's still definitely in my 7th spot. So yeah.
Who did you have at 10 again?
I had Lillard.
Oh, okay. I was like, I swear I haven't heard Dame's name yet. And then I looked at my top 6 and I was like, oh my God, he's forgot someone. 7, I got Dame. Dropping 60 points and still losing. It's pretty sad. I still don't understand how. His supporting cast is not whack, but it's definitely, he deserves a lot better. Like I said before, to be able to come in and just consistently drop 40 a night.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And be one of the best assist men in the league, hitting deep shots like that. I think he's an amazing leader, top 5 leader in the league, I think. And to stick with him for so long and be extremely loyal. Didn't get injured last season at all. I still can't believe that supporting cast couldn't pull through. Robert Covington sold. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Dame because I think Dame is – everyone understands what Dame brings to the table. My top 6 now is like unmatched. That is my top – like I actually think we might have the same order in the top 6. But I don't. You
reckon? Okay. Good. Well, we do have all this. We definitely have all the same players, but we'll.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think we do.
As long as I didn't forget anyone.
I guarantee you'll forget someone.
Yeah. So number 6, I got Luka.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want to put him higher.
Ooh.
I still don't think. I don't know. I still don't think he's in the top 5 yet. And also just defensively, I think that is also something that factors in. Now the guy, I mean, yeah, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think it's so hard because like all these players here are like the most skilled players in the league, and Luka is like that's what he thrives off. Like that's how he's made his money, how he's made the All-Star team and everything. But I still predict a big year for him, and he's still going to have like a really impressive year. I still do think the team around him takes him away from getting into that next spot because he can drop 30 every night, 30, 35. But whether his team's winning is where I don't know if he can get up to that next spot. The teams ahead of him, so the players ahead of him have teams that are in a better place to win. So that's kind of what takes him away from me. Yeah, putting him into that higher spot. But I still think 6 is a good spot for him. What do you reckon? What's your next one?
I got the reigning MVP at 6.
That's fine. That's all good.
Oh, what?
No, that's fair.
Oh, did you forget or no?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, okay. You have him heaps higher?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't know why that surprised me, but yeah.
I got Nicole Yokitch, a triple-double guy at the center spot, the best playmaking center in history. I'm giving him the crown.
Yeah.
Only guy I know is Arvydas Sabonis, probably. I'm sure there are a lot of great passing centers in the NBA history, but Jokic is at the top to consistently have triple-doubles and ruin some teams like the Portland Trail Blazers and ruin my fantasy league with one of the boys drafting him and him blowing everyone out with triple-doubles. So, yeah, I think he's so dynamic. He's an underrated scorer, I think. He was a bit passive in the first few games against Portland and then came out in those last few games and just was very aggressive, dropping 30. Even against Phoenix, his supporting cast couldn't help him there. He did everything he could. And I just think he's so dynamic, a great underrated scorer, elite passer, not a bad defender, just very unathletic. So it makes him a bit liable against some opposing centers who are definitely more like Bam Adebayo. I feel like he would have trouble guarding Bam Adebayo and other players like that. So he's at my 6. And number 5.
I've got Jokic at 5.
Yeah.
I think he definitely proved last year. Like, it'd be so unfair if he was MVP and I didn't put him in the top 5. A triple-double center, which is unheard of. And I think he's proven himself as like a clutch scorer as well. Often when it comes to those last like couple of minutes, you go to the guards, or like most teams have a guard or a forward that you kind of put the ball in the hands of, top of the key type of thing. And he's always at risk of being double teamed. And he always like fights through them. I think that's like a really underrated part of his game where he'll make the right play, the right pass, or he'll make some ridiculous shot. He can make some difficult shots. Like an incredible like scorer. I feel like I was reading some things where he like only got into basketball like late and like doesn't really take care of his body, but he's like developed his body.
He looks good this year, bro.
Yeah, he looks like ridiculous, and that's going to help him defensively. He's obviously going to be around trainers that are going to help him maintain the strength part. So that's obviously where he's going to get a lot of his production from. But yeah, he's a ridiculous player. The fact that they got him in the second round still bewilders me. An MVP the second round. I'd like to see like the stats on that, like how many MVPs have come from the second round.
It was the only one, I think.
Yeah, it's like late second round as well. So that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like incredibly skilled center. I think he sits comfortably at the 5 spot for me. Luka could definitely like go above him. But I don't think he takes over anyone ahead of him coming into this year. But yeah, Jokic at my 5.
Yeah, so I've got Luka at my 5. So those two are kind of interchangeable. I feel like they can just swing around whenever.
Yeah.
Luka, an elite scorer. Defense is a worry at times, but he's got the size. And I think if he puts in effort, he definitely has potential to be a good defender in this league. Elite passer, elite playmaker, great rebounder, without Luka, this team would be the worst team in the league. So I think having the impact of Luka and him being a top 5 player and my MVP favorite for the upcoming season. And I think to even make the 6th spot? Did they make the 5th spot? Is pretty crazy. And that's all credit to him. So he's my number 5. And now we're getting into our top 4. I think I would assume this is all the same, Lachlan. I would assume this is all the same.
Yeah, it better be. I'm not sure. No, I think it might be. I think these 4 are pretty. Actually, no, they are arguable. But at the 4, I've got Curry. You're relieved, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Steph Curry, greatest shooter ever that we've ever seen, and he's gonna have.
Have you not seen Reggie Miller score before?
Hot take, guys.
Hot take.
Yeah. A guy who should have probably won MVP last year over Jokic, but the team wins factor in there. And Jokic definitely deserved it by any means. Yeah. Curry. What like look at Curry.
I feel like our top 3 is like not like our top 4 is like you can't really explain it. You're just gonna say the names and that's it.
Yeah, it's Curry. He's gonna have a huge year. But yeah, up to you.
For sure. I got Curry at 4 too. Like you said, greatest shooter of all time. The way that he can just get some shots off. You saw the other day he tried to jump into the defender on the jump.
Yeah.
They didn't call it. I think that's going to be a bit different for him this year. Obviously, hitting some crazy shots like that. I don't think that's going to be happening much. I feel bad for him because his supporting cast last year couldn't do it. Obviously, Clay wasn't there. I think with Clay this year, definitely a shot at winning the chip. I know, bit of a long shot, but I honestly think they can.
They're capable, yeah.
But yeah, Steph number 4. He's a very underrated playmaker as well. He's an elite finisher. Defense is probably his biggest downside. But with that being said, top 3, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the exact same too.
We'll see. At the 3, I got KD, not LeBron.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Actually, I will guess that. Let's go. Yeah, KD. I think it sucks because he literally was like an inch away from being in the finals and facing the Suns, in which the Nets
probably would have won.
So say he was an inch back and hits that 3. He's probably higher on my list. He probably is the top player on my list, which is hard because you can't just base it off playoff performance. But at the end of the day, he's still top 3. He's the greatest scorer of all time, 7 foot, even though he denies it. He's improved along the way as a defender, which is really great to see, and as a playmaker. And he's got a great team around him this year. He's still going to have a great year. But yeah, it just takes him his ability to, I won't say lead a team, because he is definitely capable of leading a team. He led him to the conference finals and was that close from getting in there. I won't say it's because of that. But I feel like just, I guess, against all odds, sometimes some players are just, able to really prove why they're, a top 2 player in the league instead of a top 3. So yeah, I got KD at my 3rd spot, but he can definitely move up. It's such a tough decision, but yeah, I'll go KD at the 3.
Yeah, so as a LeBron stan, I've got him at my 3rd spot. I wanted to put him higher, but injured a lot of the season. Not a great playoff series against Phoenix, obviously losing in 6, 5, 6.
5, I think. It was 3-1, so yeah, 5. No. I was watching a highlight the other day, and it was like LeBron like walking out, and then like said,
Oh,
"Sucks,
that's
we're up
right. Yeah,
3-1."
okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, 4-1.
yeah.
Yeah, 5 games.
So
I got
yeah, so,
LeBron at 3. I don't think he's going to regress or anything. I actually think he's gonna get better throughout the season. But I just think the two above him, at the moment, considering the years they had last year, I don't think you can beat them out.
mm,
Um, and I just think LeBron is still like elite. He's probably actually the best player in the league. But
yeah,
injuries stopped him from having a monster year like everyone was expecting. So
yeah.
back to back. Reigning champ. Not reigning champ at the end of this year. So
Mm. All right. I think I also want to say it's interesting that our top three are all like forwards.
mm,
I think that's something that, yeah, like kind of gets lost on people. Like the most dominant players in our league today are
forwards.
our forwards, and like yeah, guards are definitely
In
up
the
there.
2000s, it was guards. In the 90s, it was centers.
Yeah, and it's like it's all come together, and these are all guys who can do multiple things like in
Yeah.
a really like dynamic way. Yeah, at my second spot, I got
Oh,
LeBron.
yes,
I got LeBron on my second point. One thing I think about LeBron, and you never want to count him out or like put him where he thinks he doesn't deserve. Like
yeah.
he's the one player you never count out. He's still got plenty of good years in him. Yeah, this can be definitely a redemption year. He's got an amazing team around him. That's perfect for his like play style. They're going to be a very fast team, plenty of shooting, so he's always going to have shooters around him to find. Yeah, so I think I said in the season preview, I think he's going to have like a 12 assist year just based on the team he has around him.
Yeah.
But still a really good scoring year because you do have Westbrook in there who can slash and he'll find shooters will find cutters. There'll be plenty of cutting this year. Obviously like Malik Monk as well. Taylor Horton Tucker. So yeah, I think LeBron's at my second spot. I honestly, based off playoff performance, he's probably third. Like how I think about that, how well you perform in the playoffs, is like how well you rank on this list. But I still think I don't want to count him. 2 is like a good spot for him. Still like one of the GOATs at that age. He's going to have a really he's going to have a redemption year, and they have to. Sure, they're contending this year, so he's going to have that type of year. So yeah, I think we got the same number 1. But yeah, you go your second one.
I got KD. Probably the greatest scorer of all time.
Mm.
And like you said, 1 inch away from me, but advancing kind of thing. But you never know, if he was 1 inch away, he would have missed it. He could have missed it. So you never know. Yeah. But yeah, the way that he persevered through all that adversity when obviously those Kyrie and Harden were injured, to still be able to perform at that level and have a great scoring year, great rebounding year. I think one of his better years, to be honest. I think he's up there for MVP this upcoming season. I think.
Yeah,
definitely a sleeper. Definitely a sleeper. But I don't want to talk about KD anymore. I want to talk about Giannis, the consensus best player in the league coming into this year, the reigning Finals MVP, reigning champion. This guy is just. I gave him a bit of slack heading into the finals because I didn't think he could do it.
Mm.
Actually, our first ever episode, I was giving Giannis shit because he wasn't playing good. And then what did he do? Win 4 straight games. And
he was listening, bro.
6.
He was listening.
Yeah, he was listening like this, listening. But yeah, I think Giannis is the best player in the league. That might change at the end of the year, but for now, Giannis is the best player in the league. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about Giannis?
Jeez. A guy who's like, I think religiously worked on his jump shot. It hasn't really showed, but he's changed his shooting, which I don't agree with, but he's taken the steps to really improve his jump shot, and he's got a pretty good mid range. Like he's solid in the mid range. You would not leave him open. The only place you would leave him open is from 3, and even so, he can still light it up. And that's basically what's gonna. If he kind of stays around that mid-range area, that's fine. He's still a top 3 player in the league. But if he improves that shot to where they're guarding him at the 3, he is without a doubt the best player in the league. I think for the next 3-5 years, he's still young. I think he beats out KD because of how dominant he is inside and the type of defender he is. Just how he performed in the finals. And obviously, no discredit to KD, but I do think that Giannis has that bit more of a killer mentality about him. It's so weird because going into the Heat series, a reporter asked him, do you think this is going to be different this year? Like with the Heat, right? And he's like, oh, I'm not sure if it's going to be different. Like he was really not confident in himself. So I think he has that killer mentality when it becomes desperate. But he's it's kind of odd. Like you don't know, what he's kind of thinking in that moment. But a ridiculously a 7-footer who can slash the way he does.
And as agile as he is, crazy.
Has to be the number 1, and based off his finals performance, I think he can retain that spot for the next 3 years, or at least be in the top 3. He's not leaving that top 3. But that's Giannis. That's our top 10 players list. You got anything else?
That's a large episode.
Yeah,
large.
Yes.
Guys. Tonight we're actually doing a fantasy draft. Lockie's a bit nervous because it's his first ever one. So we're excited for that. I was jokingly saying we're going to record it, but honestly, I can't be bothered. I'd rather just do it. So
that'll be fun.
We actually at the end of the week we will be doing some preseason coverage, just like a little wrap up of the week. My Cavs are playing at 10:30, which is in 50 minutes against the Hawks. Obviously, got blown out by the amazing Bulls. Holy shit!
Yeah,
them Bulls.
We need to talk about that.
I don't even care that we lost because we played like dog shit. But very exciting preseason so far. I just saw on my phone Melo scored 3 straight buckets on his debut. So we will definitely talk about that on Saturday. But for now, that's our top 10 list. Thanks everyone for watching. And let's post for the thumbnail.
Now do those whoa. That. Thank you guys.
Thank
you.
Have a
good one.